Donut. The circle of life progresses and continues. What a wonderful sensation. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reddit Time Podcast here on the Morphin Network, and we're here to discuss Kamen Rider Gavv, Episode 12, The Bond Connected by Donuts. Oh, good stuff. This is a keto donut I made. Hope you guys enjoy. So let's talk about donuts for a second. So donuts is a fried pastry, very fried. Typically uses lard, at least it's supposed to use lard, with yeast as a leveling agent. It was first invented by Cato the Elder in a book called De Agricultura. And basically, it uses cheese, honey, and poppy. Basically, not the same thing as modern day donuts, but it is one of the earliest depictions of what would be similar to a modern donut. Then in Nuremberg in 1485, we would have depictions of the. Sorry, we have depictions of the gefüllte Krapfen, which is a stuffed version of a donut cake. So there's definitely a big distinction because cakes and yeast are not exactly the same thing. There's textural difference, and cake typically has less protein value, while yeast does have more protein because yeast is a fungus. The modern day donut would be most, especially the circular one, would be most attributed to Dutch settlers from the United States, and it was originally known as the oilkoek, which means oily cake. Now they arrived in New York, or at the time New Amsterdam, more specifically, in the early 18th century, and the rest was history. The nuts component came from 1750 in England because they were nut shaped. They didn't have a ring shape; it was more of a nut shape. But then the name just kind of stuck while using the dough and the nut. And it was the earliest mentioned in Washington Irving's A History of New York in 1809. Now, of course, modern-day donuts come in multiple varieties, donut holes, twists, bars, crawlers, which is my favorite. And there's not, at least as far as American versions go, but my favorite international version is the Ukrainian variant, which comes with sour cherries as a filling, pompushka, as it is known. But, they're always a tasty snack, even tastier for breakfast, but always eat in moderation. And have a nice beverage with you, whether it's cold milk, hot coffee. I'm a cold beverage guy myself. I would love some water right now. I did not think this through. But let's talk about the episode. 2 episodes ago, with the hermit crab dude, we were first introduced to the gochiza for the donut because some construction workers, very blue collar stereotype, introduced Shoma to the donuts because he helped out. Now we actually get to see it in action. Where we left off in the previous episode, you're fighting off the crocodile granute, but of course Hanto sustains heavy damage that causes him to demorph. Incidentally, Shoma got to see him demorph, so now the secret's out. And of course Shoma shouts his name, so now, and for some reason he's conscious enough to know that Gavv shouted his name, so whoever Gavv is, someone that knows who he is. So So when they evacuate, he tried to do his best to give him first aid, but when he wakes up, he gets mad. Like, how dare you let the Grand Newt go? Like, you're supposed to defeat it. And because he basically figured out that Shoma was Gavv, which is great. Now we know who they really are. But of course, Shoma gives him a beautiful speech about how, because you have a dream, you want to protect people, you're not going to be able to do it if you're dead. He's like, God damn it, you have a point. And they both bond over the fact that they both have dead moms. I swear to God, this feels like that one joke of what's it called, Tokyo Ghoul in 5 minutes, where it's like, oh my God, talking about my dead asshole father makes me so hard. But I love that they're bonding. I just wish it wasn't over something so traumatic, but I'm glad that because they have a common trauma that they could actually, see eye to eye on certain things. Meanwhile, Sachika was able to catfish the catfish and try to go on a date with him. Given the fact that we now know that he is disguised as a little boy, this kind of makes both parties look a little creepy, but I can forgive Sachika for not knowing that he's disguised as a little boy. But thankfully, she doesn't get involved, other than just letting Shoma and Hanto know that, hey, I kind of tricked the catfish into wanting to go on a date with me. So, you know what I love about them knowing each other's identities now? Now they can make better, more effective plans, because previously all their plans would involve trying to ditch each other on the drop of the hat. Well, more specifically, Hanto trying to ditch Shoma, while Shoma would try to do whatever he can to follow him, just to make sure Hanto doesn't get hurt. But now that they both know that they're both writers, neither of them are telling Sachika, they can actually work together in order to make a plan all the way through. And it worked. Obligatory cross-dress scene. Yes. And honestly, I saw this coming a mile away. The moment I saw Sachika's feet touch that step, I'm like, that's Shoma. That's Shoma wearing drag, isn't it? Now, you're probably wondering, how would I recognize Shoma's feet? And the answer is, I don't. But I'm just not surprised by this. I mean, we've seen that episode of W where Philip was disguised as a girl while Akiko was dressed up as a dude. And she's like, but Philip is dressed up like a woman. But I am a woman. And I'm dressed up as someone that's not a woman. What's going on? So, yeah, no. And it worked. They managed to expose the catfish as a crocodile. And the fighting ensues. They go into an obligatory underground warehouse type of situation. Kind of like what we usually see in Kamen Rider Kuga. And yeah, it's really cool to see the two of them transform together, especially in a narrow corridor, but they transform together, and that's really cool. Anywho, so yeah, we get a fight sequence. We get Zaku Zaku chips, but unfortunately the crocodile makes it impossible to use the actual source because he chomps down on it. Very tasty. So basically Hanto comes up with the idea of creating a pool of chocolates, like dip the chips into the chocolate. So the chocolate makes the chips sturdier somehow. I'm not exactly sure how that's supposed to work. I know that people do have this one snack where they either have chips, like potato chips dipped in chocolate, or they manufacture chocolate to be shaped like chips. Not a fan of either of those two. Like, I remember there was marketing for the latter, or go swoops, there it is, or something like that. I mean, they used the song whoop, there it is, whoop, there it is, except they used the name of the candy instead. I could not get into it. Like I know that there's like a Hershey's flavored one, an M&M's flavored one, a Reese's flavored one, but I never tried those. It just did not appeal to me. And mind you, I was a kid that liked both chocolate and fried potato. I just feel like those two things just don't go together. Keep the starches separate. Unless it's chocolate with banana. Okay, those are two starches I don't mind keeping together. But it works. But in a pinch, Hanto, Shoma gives Hanto a chance to do a form change. It's like, here, take one of these three, any one. It can't be any worse than where we're in the predicament we are now. And of course, naturally, Hanto plucks the donut one. Yay! He gets the donut one. He gets like these donut rings on his head. Let me tell you, this is really cool because, okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm not a fan of the form because I'm not a fan of the black and yellow, the actual donuts, especially with the sprinkles. Not a fan of sprinkles, to be honest. The costume does look messier than usual, but I appreciate where the donut components cut off and protrude. Like, it's like, if we're gonna make a donut-themed costume using Valvared as a base, you can't really do much better than what we ended up with. But, I would at least appreciate if he was like, I don't know, maybe a glazed donut, a maple donut. I don't know. But I will say this. I do love his power. Although, I will say this, though, quick aside, it'd be funny if you had one, like, directly on his face, like, to be, like, a Boom Boomger reference. It's like, you've seen the tired face people, now meet the donut face people. But, no, it's, yeah, he can summon 4 levitating donuts. And he could change their size, like, he could change the thickness of the rings, he could change the width, the radius of the ring, both the actual dough and the hole inside of the dough. So not only was he able to trap the mouth of the crocodile, but he was also basically able to completely constrict it, allowing Shoma to use his hard candy cannon in order to destroy that granny once for all. But it just so happens that in good old-fashioned Peter Parker fashion, he managed to get footage of the Granude getting destroyed, which means that case closed, the sisters are safe, and all's well that ends well. And of course, Hachika's like, how'd you get such good close-up footage? Were you like on a skyscraper? What's going on? Meanwhile, so the 5 friends go to eat. I know that there was an earlier scene where Suga gives Hanto medical treatment, but the only significance it has is that he remarks that, like, oh, your healing factor has significantly increased. It might be due to the surgery. Yeah, we could ponder on how suspicious Suga is as a person, but he didn't really provide any new evidence to, like, work off of. But meanwhile, at the Stomach family, Longo comes back and speaks with Glotta about, okay, so I know what the twins are dealing with, and I have to say, our little half-brother is actually more menacing than I thought he was. I'm still not going to rehire the twins, but we do need some new part-timers. So there was some dude there was this one Granude who was broke and tried to steal some dark candy. So now he's forced to be a part-timer. I find that interesting. Wonder if this is like a slave labor type of thing, like in New Jack City, where Chris Rock was supposed to go undercover as a crack mule, but he ends up being like addicted to the product, and he ends up dying from ODing on it. So I wonder if the same thing will happen to this guy. But nevertheless, the twins are still fired, so they got kicked out of their warehouse. So the two resolve to get their revenge on Shoma. That's the end of the episode. I actually really love this episode. Aside from the black and yellow of it being a chocolate donut, I have no issues with this episode. It was perfect. And while I do have to wonder, was it too soon for them to reveal that the two of them are who they really are? I at least appreciate that. It was naturalistic. It was like, because one thing I appreciate is when Gaiamatsu face turned in Kamen Rider Zero One. I was worried they're gonna let him join the squad too soon. They did not disappoint. They were still pissed at him. They were still distrusting of him, rightfully so. But and in the same sense, I love how even though Shoma knows that Hanto is definitely a human with limited Granute powers. Hanto does not know that Shoma is actually Granute. And hopefully it stays that way. Because if he finds out, they would have to fight each other. Although, you do see the actual mouth when he's transformed, right? Did they ever question that? He has a red one just like the monster does. I wonder why that never gets brought up. But, nevertheless, they had really great teamwork. And I love how they worked off of each other's powers. With that, I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think. Donuts. Yep. Donuts are amazing. Just make sure that you use them in moderation, okay? I actually love that the two finally learned about each other and are still being bros. I know. Not gonna lie, though. I do like the running joke of them overthinking things. But at least the two of them can be bros now. And now I'm wondering how the two of them are going to work together to keep their secrets from Sachika. Because she will eventually find out about the two of them. I was expecting at least a fight and a misunderstanding. Yeah, hey, it could still happen. Because, remember, Hanto still doesn't know that Shoma's not only a half Granute, but also he's a member of the Stomach family. So, maybe if he finds out, he will feel like he's being betrayed. You never know. But that's it for the comments. We hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon. Stay notified of our latest videos. We do Kamen Rider app. We do Ultraman Arc on Mondays. Kamen Rider Gavv on Wednesdays. Bakugan Sentai Boom Boom Draw on Thursdays. And Kamen Rider Gaim on Sundays. This week, Boom Boomger is going to be on Friday because tomorrow's Thanksgiving. We are thankful that you guys were there to support us. And we hope you continue to support us in the future. And Boom Boomger, it's going to be on Friday, so you don't have to miss out on your family outing or inning in order to watch our show. Like you'll just have to survive the Centennial shopping games in order to see us talk about wheel people. And also we're doing the final 4 episodes of Gaim this week. After that, we just have to do the Gaim guidance, and we'll be done with Gaim. We're gonna start 2025 with the new season of Kamen Rider. God knows which one. I'm hoping for Showa era one, as long as it's not the 1971 series, because that is too long. But that's for the wheel to decide. Also, check out our recent Power Morphicon interview uploads. We're hoping that after Thanksgiving, we're going to be uploading some more. And of course, check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do various movie reviews. Last week, we did Four Brothers, Rudy, and Wicked. Tonight, as of the time of this recording, in 15 minutes, we're going to be discussing the Thanksgiving classic film Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, starring 2 fantastic actors, John Candy and Steve Martin. We hope to see you guys then and there. And if you want to follow me on my personal channel, you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto. And with all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update emergency kits, hug your loved ones. See you all next time. Goodbye.